Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, we begin today with Sports Illustrated. I remember I used to subscribe to Sports Illustrated for the sports. Of course, I never did mind when that swimsuit issue arrived. But you know what? Folks, things have changed. We now have on the cover of Sports Illustrated, they're bragging about the first transgender. We also have Naomi Osaka, the tennis player who didn't like the media attention and withdrew from Wimbledon. But she's okay being on the cover of Sports Illustrated. They actually have 3 covers. I assume the 3rd cover is a normal model. Ladies and gentlemen, the American jury and Bulldog Nation, here's my point about all this stuff. Is you know what? Beauty pageants are supposed to be beauty pageants for women. Beautiful women. Victoria's Secret is supposed to be beautiful women. Why do they have to inject this bullshit into everything? It cracks me up. I think I speak for most members of Bulldog Nation because I feel like everybody in Bulldog Nation are men's men and women's women. All the men in Bulldog Nation, that's the way we are, and the same with the women. But no, they got to inject this stuff upon us. It's crazy. Joe Biden coming to town tomorrow. Rumor is it's Mount St. Joseph, and oh, it's hit the fan because of his position on abortion, so forth and so on. So some of the Catholics are in an uproar. Will the nuns allow him to go to Mount St. Joseph? Time will tell. Jeff Bezos going to the edge of space today with the oldest woman and the youngest boy, 18 freaking years old. His hedge fund dad paid $28 million for that. Good for Jeff Bezos. Although, you know, it cracks me up. At least he's willing to admit it, that these are joyrides for billionaires. I don't know about you. Maybe you're different from me. I have zero interest in going to space. If Jeff Bezos called me up and said, hey, we got a free seat here for you to go on this thing, I wouldn't go. I have no interest in it. I like Earth. I like being on Earth. Joe Biden has come out and said that there's no question that China and their hackers are behind some of this ransomware lately. And he makes these threats. Now, everybody knows that, well, we could be doing something secret. We're not going to broadcast it. But how many times does our government have to threaten Russia and China and nothing happens? It's scary. You know why? They're not scared of Joe Biden. Mark Levin called Biden. Mark Levin gets Oracle status today. Make sure somebody tells him. He gets Oracle status today. He called Joe Biden a human pandemic. He is. I like a guy that can coin a phrase. He's a human pandemic. Jim Jordan. Kevin McCarthy appointed 4 people to the committee, the January 6th committee, and one of them is Jim Jordan. Thank God. Jim Jordan will dig into there, and at least he will protect Trump and everything related to it. Thank God Jim Jordan's on the committee. Kamala, according to the White House, got a COVID test. And according to the other reports, she didn't need a COVID test. So her office, White House, lots of confusion all over this Texas Democrats. Kamala is just an embarrassment that just keeps on going. And this ought to give everybody hope. 2/3 of Americans, not just Democrats or Republicans, 2/3 do not think Kamala is ready to be president. She's not ready to be a school principal, much less a president. Are you kidding me? Would you allow Kamala Harris to run your business? Hell no. I wouldn't. Florida man that just got sentenced got 8 months and a Capitol Hill riot. He was there, and he was somebody that was with the flag in the Congress. But folks, I'm telling you right now, to get 8 months is ridiculous. These are punitive penalties because it related to Congress. And I think it's a bunch of baloney. I don't think any of these people should have got any prison sentence. None. They were let in. You see these videos? They were let in the place. One section had some broken windows. Rural Democrats, this is great. Rural Democrats across the country are trying to run from the Democratic Party label. They're dropping the Democrat. Of course, their opponents are going to remind them that they're Democrats. But how funny is that? Across rural America, you don't want to be a Democrat. I don't think a Democrat could get elected a dog catcher in Northern Kentucky, do you? I mean, they're dropping their Democratic names. They don't want to be a Democrat. COVID. Ted Cruz believes that all of this influx of, COVID rates going up a little bit is because, in Texas at least, due to the illegal aliens. Makes sense, doesn't it? Talk about super spreaders. Illegal aliens coming in not tested. It's incredible. Nobody wants to talk about that. Of course, Dr. Fauci doesn't mind that. Johnson & Johnson, they've been hit hard. A $2 billion judgment is being upheld in the courts on this talc baby powder. And they're thinking about spinning off the baby powder division, then filing bankruptcy. We'll see what happens. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Russia, speaking of Russia, hypersonic missile. They're showing off. Says our defenses can't handle it. Don't you wish Trump was around to deal with that? No, we got Joe Biden. And our Defense Department, think about that. They're shooting hypersonic missiles, and we're worried about white supremacy in our military. 2-year-olds en masse. The American Pediatric Association has come out and said, yep, 2-year-olds and up ought to have masks. That is so beyond ridiculous. And always remember, well, it's the American Pediatric Association. Folks, you're going to find no more liberal organization than the medical organization. No. By the way, they're a lot socialist because the medical hospitals, they love that government money that keeps coming in. Passport backlogs. If you want a passport to travel abroad, which is kind of crazy these days, 6-month wait, 2.2 million passport backups. Proving once again that the federal government can't do a damn thing. Prince Harry. I don't like talking about Prince Harry, but I have to point this out. He's going to write a memoir, and HarperCollins is giving him $20 million. Is the guy 40 yet? Harry's memoirs, $20 million. They wouldn't be doing that unless he is just going to go nuclear on the royal family. You know what he's decided? He's decided to play his cards, which is, I'm going to be the guy that blows up the royal family. Me and Meghan are going to make money. I'm broken away. I don't need him anymore. That's clearly what's going down. One day he'll regret it. Did you hear about Epstein? There's a book coming out relative to Epstein that finds it very curious, and I do too, that somebody who committed 4 murders, was a big hulking kind of guy, was his cellmate. I mean, it's kind of weird dynamics. Like, why did they put this guy in there with Epstein? Conspiracy theories abound when it comes to Epstein, right? The stock market went, but don't worry, it'll come back. Why? Because one minute they'll tell you, oh, the stock market's going down because they're worried about COVID. Then the next day, stock market goes up because the infusion of the cash. I mean, it cracks me up, the old stock market. Last but not least, Asian carp. It's time to cancel that. You can't use the word, even though the carp comes from Asia, we can't call it Asian. I mean, just think about it. French fries, this culture appropriation, this political correctness, this cancel is just crazy. They're now canceling Asian carp. I don't know what the hell we're going to call it. Just carp, but there's all kinds of carps. This is a Bulldog. Every dog has their day. I hope you have a wonderful Tuesday.